The Shark Deck.
Hi, it's America's favorite juror, Johnny Mac, with your daily comedy news. I asked the ChatGPT to write some jokes in the style of Jeff Foxworthy, explaining a situation similar to mine. They go like this. If you've ever had to cancel your podcast recording because you were stuck in a courtroom all day, you might have jury duty. If you've ever tried to convince the judge that you should be exempt from jury duty because you have a podcast to record, you might need a reality check. Your Honor, who's going to tell people about Bert Kreischer's new tour if I don't? That's right, Bert Kreischer going back out on tour with the Fully Loaded Comedy Festival. This starts June 14th. It'll hit 16 ballparks and arenas across the country. Listen to the lineup. Mark Normand, Shane Gillis, Tiffany Haddish, Stavros Halkias, Fortune Feimster, Dave Attell, Lewis Black, Jim Norton, Andrew Santino, Big J Oakerson, Jay Pharoah, Dan Soder, Chad Daniels, Ralph Barbosa, Rosebud Baker, and Tammy Pescatelli. Wow, that is some lineup. Bert Kreischer says Fully Loaded is the best ticket you can buy in entertainment this summer. Indoors, outdoors, baseball stadiums, arenas, and The Gorge. The Gorge, I didn't know either, is apparently an outdoor concert venue in Grant County, Washington. The concept for the Fully Loaded Comedy Festival was to create a traveling comedy festival inspired by the original Lollapalooza touring festival and encompass everything he loves: comedy, the outdoors, good times, drinking with friends. The goal to give fans an experience they'll be talking about for years to come. This sounds amazing. This year, the festival partners with Comedy Gives Back, an organization founded as a safety net for comics by providing them with financial crisis relief, mental health support, and more. Also out today, Bert Kreischer's new Netflix special. It's called Razzle Dazzle. And his movie The Machine comes out May 26th. The Fully Loaded Comedy Festival kicks off in Forest Hills. I could have walked there from where I grew up. That's the June 14th show. Baltimore, Moosic, Pennsylvania, Guilford, New Hampshire, Traverse City, Fort Wayne, St. Louis, Lincoln, Nebraska, Huntsville, Alabama, New Orleans, Memphis, Oklahoma City, the one in Oklahoma, Las Vegas, Salt Lake City, Boise in Idaho. Maybe Ryan Hamilton will come by. You never know. And the Gorge Amphitheater in George, Washington wraps it up on July 15th. Hey, Jim Gaffigan, what'd you give up for Lent, dude? Jim said, I'm not giving anything up, but as a true Catholic would say, it's not about giving something up. It's about sacrificing. That's not to say I haven't done that. This Catholic thing is so interesting, says Jim. This morning, I was writing material. As a writer, you're like, all right, this could be something. My parents were lapsed Catholics. My wife's pretty devout, but even as a lapsed Catholic, there's so much information that you absorb. It influences your life. These topics keep coming up in my comedy. I think they're Christian ideas or Christian stories. It's just so interesting how I'm sitting there at 6 a.m. trying to write something about how Abraham almost sacrificing his son is the cornerstone of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Then it becomes fascinating because, all right, I'm going to get credit for tying them all in, but I'm really only talking about child murder, Jim said. I've messed around with that on stage a little bit. It's one of those things I think people that are Christians or people that grew up in a Christian household would appreciate, but it's also near the line, don't even touch that. So I don't know. You're like, am I wasting my time developing this? I don't know. And I just want to point out, that's 2 straight days I've done Jim Gaffigan stories, and he didn't mention that he kind of looks like Philip Seymour Hoffman. I'm impressed. This next story is icky from Radar Online. Louie Anderson's longtime friend has trashed his sister for accusing the friend of manipulating Louie Anderson in his final days. The friend has accused the sister of never being there for Louie during his life. Radar Online has some court documents that say Louie's friend Abraham Geisness has fired back at Lisa Anderson's lawsuit over alleged elder abuse. Last year, Lisa filed a lawsuit accusing the comedian's associates of forcing the comedian to amend his trust on his deathbed. In her petition, Lisa said Louie started to become suspicious that people were stealing from him in his final years. She detailed a call she received where he told her not to come visit him. She said Louie spoke with long hesitations between his words, and it appeared like he was being coached to say the words he was uttering. This was strange because earlier, Louie had wanted Lisa to come out and lie next to him on a new bed he wanted to purchase. Anyway, I'll let the court settle that one out, but it is definitely messy. From Deadline, BBC comedy director John Petrie said his team would be happy to talk with John Cleese about the upcoming Fawlty Towers revival. He called the original a legendary show and said, we found out about the revival when everyone else did. I don't know if it would work for us, and we haven't spoken to John Cleese, but it's obviously a legendary show. We'd be happy to talk to John if he wanted to talk about it. Looking ahead, he is prioritizing British talent given the possibility of U.S. writers seeking work in the UK in the coming months due to the looming writers' strike. The writer's strike will be pretty interesting to see what happens over here. I remember in the past, some of the late night shows stopped doing monologues, and I think Letterman was writing his own things, if I remember correctly. It's been a minute, but it looks like the writer's strike's coming. We'll see how it affects comedy.
Welcome to How to Tickle Yourself. I'm your host, Duff McDonald.
And I'm your co-host, Matt McButter. We'll be talking to people who specialize in different ways of inhabiting their own consciousness, from artists to yoga teachers to scientists. We've even got a professional magician.
We're going to ask them questions like, what is consciousness? Why does it tickle? And what is magic anyway? Is it just card tricks, or is it the fact that your little speck of consciousness is part of a perfect possibility machine?
Find us wherever you get your podcasts and at storicmedia.com.
If you like what I do here, 2 ways to support the show. One, go to buymeacoffee.com/dailycomedynews and buy me a coffee. The other is go on Apple Podcasts, become a premium subscriber. They'll put the option under your nose. For $5 a month, you'll get the episodes ad-free and early. By early, I mean around 4 o'clock, unless I'm on jury duty and pre-taped, in which case you had them yesterday morning. You know what I mean? Yes. Let's see who's at South by Southwest tonight. 5 o'clock, Swan Leak, a silent clown ballet. Don't think I'm not clicking on that, because I am. LA clowns Natalie Palamides and Christina Catherine Martinez pay homage to the tenderness of the body through a soggy interpretation of Tchaikovsky's masterpiece. Natalie Palamides is amazing. We are absolutely doing that at 5 o'clock. We will miss a taping of Doug Love's Movies at 6. 7 o'clock, I Never Promised You a Rose Garden, a new hour of hopeless comedy by Joe DeRosa. You didn't think I was going to say Joe DeRosa there, did you? No, you didn't. 8 o'clock, Gotham Comedy Club stand-up showcase. Why stay in New York City, John, when you go all the way to Austin and see the same comics? Tone Bell, Anthony DeVito, Jackie Fabulous, Caitlin Palufo, Greg Proops. 9 o'clock, closing at the Creek. Comedians take the stage for the last stand-up show of the festival. Todd Barry, Catherine Blanford, Ismail Lufti, Eddie Pepitone, Nick Thune. And at 10 o'clock, it's called The Last Show. Isn't that sad? Doug Benson, Adrian Iapolucci, Pete Lee, Sam Talents, and Godfrey. Is there really nothing tomorrow? I'm going to peek ahead. Oh yeah, comedy events, no events found. Thursday, no events found. That's sad. I thought there was more to this festival. What do I know? I only host this thing. All right, 5 o'clock, let's go see Swan Leak. That'll take us to 6:15. Want to see Joe DeRosa at 7, or you want to go to Gotham at 8? We can go to Gotham when we're back home in New York. So let's see Joe DeRosa from 7 to 8:15. I guess it's another one of those nights where we get a slice of pizza and a soda, and then closing at the Creek at 9, and we'll sneak into Esther Follies and see if we can catch the end of the last show. And that's it, and I guess we have a flight in the morning, and we got to go home. I thought we had more time in Austin. Should we head on over to Rogan's Club? See who's playing Rogan's Club this week. We're here. Joe doesn't seem to have a website. He probably doesn't need one. I'm on a secondary ticket website, and all it says is Joe Rogan event. All right, forget it. Let's just get on the plane tomorrow. Hasan Minhaj is starring as the Riddler in The Riddler, Secrets in the Dark. It's a scripted Batman spin-off series that follows an unexpected duo, the Riddler and the Batman. So they bring down another villain tormenting the streets of Gotham City. This is on Spotify. Hasan Minhaj said, audiences are going to travel back to Gotham City with me in a story that leaves clues, puzzles, and shines a spotlight on my personal favorite character, the Riddler. And remember the blizzard of 1993 down in Alabama? Me neither, but there was a tragic fire. A fire started in the kitchen of the comedy club on Shades Crest Road in Green Springs. The snow made it hard for crews to get there to fight the blaze. The comedy club burned to the ground. Among the losses were the props of then unknown prop comedian Carrot Top. Carrot Top was booked the following week on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. Carrot Top had to cancel. Leno explained to the audience that Carrot Top can't be on the show because all his stuff got burnt up in a fire at some rinky-dink comedy club. The club owner said, well, all the comics that I knew called Jay Leno and said that club was so good. The next day I come home and there's a message. Hey, Bruce, this is Jay Leno. I want to apologize about what I said. I heard you had a great club. If you ever open the club again, I'll do a commercial for you and help get it started. Jay eventually paid off saying, hey, this is Jay Leno. I want you to know that Bruce Ayers is going to open up the comedy club again, and he promises not to burn it down this time. Carrot Top said every big comic wanted to play that club, and the fact that I was this stupid little prop comic and I got booked was amazing. The night of the blizzard, Carrot Top said he got a call at his hotel saying the show had been canceled due to the storm. After a night of drinking at the hotel bar, Carrot Top was awakened the next morning by his assistant. He had an assistant back in the 90s? Wow. And was told the club burned down with all his props inside. After a few days stuck at the hotel in Alabama because of the storm, they were running out of food. So it's day 4, and I'm supposed to do the Tonight Show. Instead, he's watching TV, and Leno saying, Carrot Top's act burned down in the club, and they found Gallagher's matches. Carrot Top said it was the lowest of my life. I had this big, huge week with the Tonight Show, and everything was going right where it's supposed to be, and nothing. In the aftermath, comics from around the nation helped him rebuild his prop routine before his next gig. Literally, we built it in 2 days in my garage. He was booked on The Tonight Show a few days later, and Carrot Top's career turned out just fine. He has a burned Carrot Top t-shirt that survived the fire. I know I keep teasing that I'm going to do the Vulture AI comedian stuff, but I recorded Monday and Tuesday back-to-back, and my voice is giving out, so I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to go back and focus on whatever these lawyers are talking about. I've been sitting here recording a podcast, and I think I'm supposed to pay attention. The judge is giving me a look. That's your comedy news for today. Follow the show for free on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your shows. See you tomorrow. Who doesn't like vacations? Do you need some inspiration for your next road trip? Are you excited to get out there and explore the world again? Hi, I'm Johnny Mac. My podcast is called Travel is Back. Travel is Back is travel for regular people. We hop in the car, we fly coach, we use our miles, we eat at normal places, we stay at normal places. So what I do is I hop in the car, I grab my portable recorder, and I go somewhere. Season 3 kicks off with a road trip to Key West. You can check out the back catalog. There are popular episodes covering Chicago, Nashville, Vancouver, Seattle, a whole bunch more. Travel is Back, road trips for regular people. Follow the show on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your shows. These are quick, these are casual, and it's for regular people like you. Travel is Back.